So the next round, first round in round 2, is Jones the Mantis versus Hoopa 590. X Jones versus Hoopa. Let's go. Winky face from Jones. Jones the Mantis has Mono Water and Hoopa has Mono Ghost. I think this may be the same team Hoopa used, but I'm not sure. I think it is, but it may not be. All right, boys. We're ready when you are. Good luck. All right, he leads Pelipper. Jones leads Pelipper, and Poltegeist is Hoopa's lead. Let's see. Pelipper did come out first, so I believe Pelipper is quicker. No losers bracket. Yeah, not for this one, but maybe in the future. Any feedback you guys have, I want to hear it. It may not be easy for me to see it all right now, so feel free to like send DMs or whatever. Basically, if there was a losers bracket, we would be watching like 24 games, which would take a long time. All right, and Poltegeist is faster, or maybe it was the speed tie, and he goes for the shell smash. Pelipper goes for the weather ball, and Poltegeist hangs on because he has a focus sash. So this is pretty scary. Focus sash Poltegeist. Let's see. A shadow ball one-shots the Pelipper. This Poltegeist is scary. Let's see what Jones decides to do. He sends in Barrascuda. In the rain, Barrascuda should be faster, even though Poltegeist is at +2 speed. And he does outspeed, and he goes for the liquidation. Didn't even need to go for the Aqua Jet. So let's see what Hoopa decides to do here. Mimikyu comes out, and this question mark, that's the Spectrier. Okay, I just want to make sure. Mimikyu comes out. It does have the disguise, so he should take one hit for sure. He decides to switch out his Barrascuda, send out the Toxapex, easily taking the play rough. He resists. That is nice. Good play. Mimikyu goes for the Sword Stance, and Toxapex sets up a layer of Toxaspikes. And he goes for the +4. Toxapex carries the haze, though. Toxapex will take none of that. Doesn't matter. And he's like, I'm going to get up my second layer. I've got haze. I don't got to worry about this. He does take the Shadow Claw pretty well, and he goes for another haze. Yeah, you can choose different teams. All right, Toxapex goes for a Scald, breaks the disguise. Mimikyu went for another Sword Stance. Sorry, guys, if I'm not able to keep up with chat as much right now. Mimikyu goes for the Shadow Claw. Toxapex goes for another haze because he doesn't need to do anything besides haze. And he does have the Regenerator to get some health back as well. Let's see. So far, we've seen Toxapex, haze, Scald from Toxapex, and Mimikyu we've seen play rough, Sword Stance, Shadow Claw. He switches out his Mimikyu, tired of getting haze, and he sends out his Gengar. And that was a smart play because Gengar absorbed the Toxapex, so the Toxapex are not an issue anymore. Let's see. We've seen Toxapex take the physical moves pretty well. Let's see how it takes a special move. He decides not to deal with it, and he switches into his Cloyster. Gengar goes for the Psychic, and he knocks Cloyster down to his Focus Sash, and he gets Spadef Drop, but it doesn't matter at 1 HP. Cloyster goes for the Ice Shard, does about half of what Gengar's remaining HP was, and Gengar knocks it out with the Sludge Wave. Whew. Alright, Seismitoad comes out on the Gengar. Gengar goes for the Shadow Ball, gets a Spadef Drop on the Seismitoad. He does take a little bit more Life Orb damage, and Seismitoad knocks it out with the Surf. It is 4-4. Spectrier comes out, and this is looking pretty scary because Spectrier is probably going to get a knockout here and get the Nehe boost, whatever it is. He goes to the Shadow Ball. Smart play switching the Toxapex. It's not a 2-hit KO, so we won't get the Nehe boost. Wasn't sure. Spectrier may or may not be locked in. It does get Nasty Plot. He does go for another Shadow Ball. And Toxapex goes for the recover, but he got the Spadef Drop, so it's not looking too good for Toxapex. It's going to be doing a little over 38% this time. It does 58% now. He goes for the Haze. Smart play, but I'm not sure if it will matter because he has 23% left. Shadow Ball, without any reductions, did 38% the first time, so I think Toxapex will die to this next Shadow Ball. But he does switch out, switches into Seismitoad. He does get knocked out, and he does get the Grim Neigh. All right, Barrascuda comes out. Barrascuda, I think, is faster. His base speed is, I think, higher than base 130. Spectre is base 130, so as long as it's higher than base 130, he does outspeed. But he doesn't. Maybe a Choice Scarf Spectrier. He knocks out the Barraskewda, gets another boost. +2 Spectrier. I see some GGs being exchanged. We'll see. Toxapex comes out. It's at 57%. What does Jones decide to do? He stays in and he gets knocked out by the next Shadow Ball. This is pretty scary. This Spectrier. Keldeo is... Oh, you're scarfed. Hoopa said I was scarfed. So it is a Scarf Spectrier, and he knocks out the Keldeo. This Spectrier goes nuts. This Spectrier goes nuts. Ends up being +3 at the end. GG, boys. GG. That was a good game. That Barraskewda came in clutch, and I thought it was going to be able to take care of the Spectrier, but it turns out he was scarfed. So Hoopa beat Jones. So we mark that down. And the next game of round 2 is Lil Baby Green Bean versus Flavion. The players are ready. In the left-hand corner, we have Lil Baby Green Bean with Mono Normal, and Flavion Noob has Mono Ghost in the right-hand corner. So it is going to be an interesting battle. Both types are immune to each other, but so I think it'll come down to the secondary typing. He leads with Tauros, and Aegislash is Flavion's lead. Let's do this. He goes for the Throat Chop. It does a large amount of damage. Aegislash goes for the Swords Dance. Unfortunately, Tauros is immune to the Shadow Sneak, so it doesn't have to worry about that. I can just go for another Throat Chop, and he knocks out Aegislash. 6-5 immediately. Yeah, dude. Tauros does have a pretty good move pool. I wonder how good Tauros will be this gen. He decides to go into Gengar. I believe this is a speed tie, both having base 110 speed. Let's see who wins the speed tie, or if anybody's hiding a Scarf. Let's see. And this is Flavion with the Corsola as well, so we'll have to watch what Corsola does. Corsola is a pretty bulky guy, and he does carry the Will-O-Wisp Strength Slap, and that will looks like a good amount of Baby's team is physical attackers. We'll have to see. Oh, Gengar wins the speed tie, or it is scarfed, and he knocks out Tauros with a Focus Blast. Giggity comes out, the Regigigas. Alright, let's see if Giggity does something this time. Unfortunately, he was knocked out by the Bandit Urshifu last game. I don't think a Focus Blast would knock it out clean, but maybe. Maybe it's a Choice Specs Gengar, we don't know. Alright, he decides to send out the Corsola, and he goes for the Thunder Wave. Excuse me. Corsola is parried. Let's see what Giggity decides to do. He decides to switch out, deciding not to risk any burning, any of that, and switched into Grandpa the Drampa and goes for a Calm Mind, which is a good matchup, I think. Better matchup than Regigigas was against this Corsola. Corsola goes for the Stealth Rocks, so we'll be able to get a little bit of chip on all of Baby's guys coming in. Grandpa goes for another Calm Mind, and Corsola decides to go for a Will-O-Wisp, get a little bit of residual damage on the Drampa. What does Grandpa have to hit? He has Flamethrower, okay. So he busts Mimikyu Disguise. Let's see, does Grandpa have any? Oh, it's a red card, the red card Mimikyu. So he forces the Grandpa out into MILF the Whitney. Everybody loves Whitney, right? All right. Mimikyu goes for a Swords Dance, not behind the Disguise anymore, and the MILF body slams the Mimikyu and puts it in a wheelchair. Gotta love that 30% chance. All right, and he knocks it out with the second body slam. Man, Scrappy Miltank. Oh, yes. I didn't even take note of that, but that is true. It is the Scrappy Miltank. That is why he was able to hit the Ghost type with the body slam, with the normal move. Oh, no. Flavion goes for the Draco Meteor, and misses. MILF carries the play rough, so he does get a good chunk off. Yeah. Oh, no. Very unlucky. Very, very unlucky. Flavion misses 2 Draco Meteors after getting full para'd. Or was it a full para? It wasn't a full para. Oh my goodness. Gengar goes for the Focus Blast. Knocks out the Miltank. That was unlucky, boys. Misses 2 Draco Meteors in a row. Giggity comes out again against the Gengar. He takes the Focus Blast. What does Giggity go for? Oh no, a little bit of hacks. A little bit of hacks now in Flavion's favor. He misses the Thunder Wave, and Gengar hits his second Focus Blast, knocks out the Regigigas. 3-3, it's tied up now. Gengar has a pretty good matchup against the rest of Baby's team. Taste the miss hacks, Flavion says to Baby. All right. Let's see what Baby decides to do. He sends out Lizard Harry. You're a Lizard Harry. Hey, Riot, would you be able to mute that?
Yeah.
Thank you. I can hear it. Are you listening to the stream? Okay. Can you turn it down? Okay. All right. Gengar hits the Focus Blast, outspeeds the Heliolisk. I'm not sure if that crit mattered or if it didn't. It was a crit though, so that definitely ensured the KO. He sends out Uncle Bun the Diggersby, also weak to Focus Blast. Focus Blast Gengar is pretty huge in this matchup. Let's see. Oh, there it is! Focus Miss. Everyone's favorite move, and he gets knocked out by the Earthquake. I don't know how many Focus Blasts he hit there. He hit 4 Focus Blasts in a row, and then missed his 5th one. Alright, so now Corsola comes in, switches into Grandpa the Drampa. Good thing he still had that around. Oh, and Flavion makes a double! Good play by Flavion, switches into Chandelure. Let's see, what does Chandelure have to hit this Drampa? Oh, he goes for the trick. Oh my goodness. Drampa is locked into Roost now because Flavion tricked it a Choice Scarf. Really good play by Flavion. Flavion now able to choose whatever he wants to go to. Pretty safely, he goes for the Flamethrower as Baby switches into Uncle Bun the Diggersby, and a second Flamethrower knocks out the Diggersby. I'm not sure, was that a speed tie? I don't think so. Nope, yeah, Chandelure, if it was max speed, it was going to outspeed Diggersby, so it was not a speed tie. Prob GG, Baby says. Baby says, Prob GG. Chandelure goes for a Flamethrower. Oh no! Drampa goes for a Flamethrower. Is that Drampa's only move that is not normal? That is not a normal type. It looks like it is. Well, and he's locked into it anyways. I forgot. So this is GG. Grandpa the Drampa. That Focus Blast never missing was rough. That was crazy. That was 4. Yeah, the trick hacks. I mean, there was hacks. There was hacks in this game for sure. 4 Focus Blast hits, a fifth missing, 2 Draco Meteors missing, a Thunder Wave missing. I don't think there was any full paras. But yeah, a lot of hacks this game. GG, boys. It was a close one. That was a good game. Looks like there were some technical difficulties, but it looks like it's gotten taken care of. Mini Fridge, is your phone all right?
Yes.
All right, her phone is all right. I missed my 2 Dracos. Yeah, that is the only job Dragapult has, and it failed. Yes. I know you trained your Dragapult well, Flavion. He let us all down. GG, boys. All right, let's go back to the bracket. All right, Flavion takes that one. Submit scores. So Hoopa and Flavion have made it to the semifinals. Our next game is Vids versus Terrence, but I believe Vids had to head out. Yeah, free win, Terrence. Terrence, you're in the semifinals, dude. You said it was luck, and you're right, it's luck. You made it to the semifinals. All right, Terrence wins that game. Congrats, Terrence. It was a good game. You won 6-0, dude. You did it. Terrence goes to the semifinals. Mad luck, man. Look at you. All right. Last game of round 2. The quarterfinals. Feather 360 versus Mr. Top Tick. All right, guys. I think we're ready. Everything looks good. All right. Feather has Mono Dark. I don't think we've seen this team yet. And Mr. Top Tick, this is his first game. He brings Mono Electric. Mono Electric is terrifying. And he's got the kid, Regieleki himself. All right, he leads Tapu Koko, and Feather chooses to lead with Weavile. He has pretty high natural speed F, so he takes the Volt Switch decently well, and he heads out to Magnezone, and he goes for a Swords Dance. This Weavile is looking pretty scary right now. I'm not sure if Magnezone can take a hit or not. At +2, Weavile's attack is pretty high. It's got base 120 or 125, so it's pretty strong. That's why I'm scared, Feather says. The Kid Regieleki. He goes for Lash Out. And it does a little over half. And Magnezone knocks them out with the Rising Voltage. And he has the lefties, so he gets a little health back. All right, Mr. Croc comes out. Maybe he's Moxie, maybe he isn't. We'll have to see. If he is Moxie, he's probably going to get a knockout right now and get a boost. Mr. Top does have a ground immunity in Zapdos, so that is good. Let's see what Croc decides to go for, and let's see if Magnezone stays in or not. Salute for Mr. Croc and Meister Crocs. Hey. All right, he goes for the Crunch and he takes it. Magnezone goes for the Rising Voltage. Mr. Croc is immune, so he does not take nothing. And Croc knocks him out with an Earthquake. It looks like they both predicted each other on that play potentially. Croc went for the Crunch, predicting maybe the Zapdos instead of going for the Earthquake, and then decided to go for the Crunch or the Earthquake the second turn. And he is not a Moxie Crocodile. And Crunch doesn't do too much there. He is Rocky Helmet Zapdos, and Zapdos does go for a Heat Wave. No burn though. And now the Electric Train is gone. Croc decides to go for the Close Combat. On the incoming Rotom, it does a little less than half. Crocodile does have the minus SpDef in defense right now, so let's see what Rotom decides to do. Rotom could outspeed, maybe, depending on the speed investment of both players. He decides to head out into Urshifu, goes for the Hydro Pump on their incoming Urshifu Big Bear. And again, this could be a situation where either player could outspeed each other depending on the investment. And this is the Fighting Dark Urshifu because it's Mono Dark. Let's see. Let's see what Urshifu goes for. Let's see what Rotom goes for. Rotom on Big Bear. Big Bear does have the priority too, so that's an option. He goes for the Wicked Blow. He does outspeed. And Wicked Blow is a guaranteed crit, so that, was going to happen. No hacks here. Regieleki comes out, the fast boy. Feather does have his ground immunity still, which is pretty huge. He goes for the Sucker Punch, but he dies to the Volt Switch. But that chip is pretty huge on Regieleki, so Regieleki should get knocked out to the next move, whatever it is. He goes on a Tapu Koko, gets up the terrain. Mr. Top is looking pretty scary with that Regieleki. The only thing standing in its way is that Crocodile. I'm a she, not a he. My bad, Feather. My bad, Feather. I'll use Dude. Dude is pretty neutral. Try to use that just because then I don't, I'm not assuming anybody's, what anybody's is behind their names, their usernames and stuff. Dudes. Yeah, I'm a she too, Feather. Yeah. Gender, LOL. Terrence, you funny boy. All right. Tapu Koko goes for the Discharge. And Absol goes for the +2, the Swords Dance. Let's see. He goes for the Sucker Punch. Tapu Koko takes it, and he knocks it out in return with a Discharge. And it was a Life Orb to Absol, so that did a good chunk. He doesn't know the word gender. Duders. All right. It is 3-4. Feather still has his ground immunity and an electric resist in, what's that guy's name? What's this guy's name again? Guzzlord. Look at that big mouth. Guzzlord. And Guzzlord has massive HP as well. Tapu Koko does have the Fairy move, but I don't think we've seen Tapu Koko switch up moves, so we're not sure. He could be locked in. Feather sends out Burning Bird. She sends out Burning Bird. Tapu Koko goes for the Discharge. Burning Bird takes it and gets the plus special attack boost because of its ability Berserk and knocks out Tapu Koko with the Fiery Wrath. I'm in a Monotype battle in Triple Quick Claw. Triple Quick Claw! Zeraora comes out. Should be outspeeding here, but if it is a Choice Scarf Moltres, I think Moltres will outspeed. Let's see. Let's see. It is +1 special attack Moltres. And this is the Galarian Moltres, which is pretty sweet. Zeraora does outspeed and knocks it out with the resisted knockoff. Big Boy Beast comes out with a little head on top of the big mouth. And then he's got these claws. Guzzlord just is a lot to handle. Zeraora goes for the knockoff again and knocks off the Rocky Helmet. Oh my goodness. And Big Boy Beast goes for the Iron Defense. Let's see what this Guzzlord has. Switches into Zapdos. Big Boy Beast goes for the Heat Crash. Takes a little bit of recoil. Takes a little bit of damage from the Rocky Helmet. Zapdos goes for the Roost. deciding just to let the Rocky Helmet do the job, but Big Boy Beast mixes it up and goes for their Dark Pulse, so he doesn't take any Rocky Helmet because that move is a special move, no contact there. Zapdos goes for the Heat Wave, no burn. Guzzlord goes to the Dragon Claw. Still not enough though. This is looking rough for Guzzlord. But one crit and Zapdos gets put down, or one flinch. Actually not a flinch, a crit, since Guzzlord is slower. I wonder, does Guzzlord have any recovery moves? If he does, that could really change this. And he gets knocked out by, it's a double down. Zapdos gets knocked out by the Heat Crash, and Guzzlord gets knocked out by the Rocky Helmet. 1-2. Mr. Croc comes out. Let's see, Feather. Maybe, is it a Scarfed Crocodile? It is not a Scarfed Crocodile. GG. That was a really close game. Mono Electric is terrifying. Thankfully, Feather did have the mono ground, or the one ground type guy to help, but Mono Electric is pretty rough. Tapu Koko is so good. Zapdos is so good. Dang, that was a good game. Should have Scarfed maybe. Yeah, Scarfed maybe would have been good. I didn't see. Were you Intimidate? I didn't see Intimidate. It looks like, were you Anger Point maybe? Okay, who am I up against this time? You were Anger Point. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool tech, dude. That was my like 7th singles games. There you go, Mr. Top. Getting those wins early, dude. All right, let's switch back to the bracket for a second. Mr. Top won that game. Let's submit the score. So we are into the semifinals, and it is Hoopa versus Flavion first, and then Terrence versus Mr. Toptic. The winner of these games is going to be going to the finals.